And ground, folks. Guys, I'm gonna wait till another call. Guys, this customer called and said that the inspector came out to her house last week. I don't know for what, but he basically said that something was broken on the furnace. I don't know if the original complaint was a gas leak or carbon monoxide problem, but the customer didn't specify. But she said that the inspector gave her a written report and it said that something was going on with the furnace. But I'm going to take a look and we're going to see what's going on. But yeah, guys, we get a lot of these calls, most likely in the winter, but we get a lot of these calls in the shoulder season, like right before the winter, especially in Philadelphia. Like we get a lot of customers that call and say that, hey, the inspector came out, or the gas company or utility company came out, and you know, most of the time it's probably something minuscule like a gas leak or maybe something's broken with the unit. But I know a lot of utility companies near us, they don't really fix units. They either tell the customer to get their own contractor or they tell the customer to replace the unit. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna wait there now. I'm gonna take a look and I'm gonna see what's going on. I'll see you guys when I get there. See you. All right, guys, I'm downstairs, and according to our records, the only thing that was done here was we put in this water heater. Shit, I believe this had to have been at least 2 years ago. I think I made a short a couple of years back. I think I had to replace the drip leg on that gas line. But yeah, I don't think we did any work to the furnace. The only thing I know that we took care of here is just the replacement of the water heater and fixing the gas line leak. But yeah, I just seen a report and the inspector turned off the furnace because he said it was leaking gas. I'm just going to turn this on. And I took out this filter. This filter is pretty dirty. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this door and I'm going to see what's going on. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright, we got our thermostat calling. I got my gas turned on. I believe I heard my pressure switch close. And that was my gas valve opening, but my igniter isn't lighting. Alright, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna check for power at that igniter. Let me get my meter and I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, I got my meter hooked up, and for context, this is a Goodman 80%, 90,000 BTU. And now I got it turned on, and I should get 115 going to this igniter. There we go. See that? This tells me that my circuit board, let me turn the gas off. This tells me that my circuit board is sending power to this igniter. If I wasn't getting 115 going to the igniter, then that means something's going on with the circuit board, but that's not the case. Okay guys, now that we verify that we got power going to this igniter, now I gotta get my stubbies and I gotta remove this igniter. But guys, I know this customer didn't get maintenance done, so regardless of the repair, I know maintenance definitely is going to be a recommendation. But yeah, I think with this Goodman unit, in order to replace this igniter, you got to remove the manifold and you got to push this gas valve out the way, because look at where the screw is for this igniter. There's like no space to get to it. But yeah guys, so let me turn the power off and let me show you what I'm talking about. I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, see, that's where the igniter was, and it's actually broken. So what I'm gonna do is I gotta go to the truck and see if I have either an OEM or a universal. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I just got the A-OK to get the repair and the maintenance done, and unfortunately, I'm all out of 16 by 20s, and no suppliers had that particular size in stock. So I got to improvise. Instead of the 16, we do have a 20 by 20. So what I'll do is we'll use that and do the maintenance, and most importantly, I'll notate that on file. If me, whoever comes back, make sure we got 16 by 20s. All right, now let's get to this igniter. I got my filter in. What I'm gonna do before I replace this igniter is since I have everything out, I'm gonna get my brush and I'm gonna clean the flame sensor, and also I'm gonna clean the burners. But guys, just to show you, this was the igniter that was in, and this is what's going in. And guys, we stock an assortment of different igniters. For instance, this particular brand was Goodman, so we use Glo-fly igniters for Goodman units. I'm sorry, hot rod igniters. The Glo-flies are the longer ones, but 9 times out of 10, guys, like I said, you can always go OEM, but in this case, if you guys are doing a bunch of igniter replacements, Glo-flies and hot rods, those two are the premier 2 universal igniters to put in. That covers 90% of what you'll see. And this is only if you don't want to go OEM. So yeah, it's definitely beneficial to keep these on the truck because they come in handy. But here's what I'm gonna do. What I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna clean the burners, clean the sensor, and I'm gonna pop this new igniter in and give it a shot. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Guys, I got my new igniter in, and just to show you, with these universal igniters, it's important that you use the original plug, because this old plug is what's going to connect to what's already here. So if I was going OEM, the new igniter already would have had this plug on here, but since we're putting in a universal igniter, we have to use the old plug, so we just use wire nuts. But once we fasten this together, we wire nut this to make sure nothing's loose and hanging. But another very, very important tip is with igniters, you want to make sure that your igniter is not touching the burner or touching any other piece of metal. And you guys see where my hand, let me zoom in here so you can see. You guys see the igniter? You see how it's not touching the front of the heat exchanger or the burner? If we position this igniter incorrectly and it was touching the metal like how my finger is, this would mess up your circuit board and this would turn into a disaster. So I've been there and done that. Anytime I put either OEM or a universal igniter in, I put a flashlight near the igniter so I can make sure I have clearance around where I'm at. So there you guys have it. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reconnect the burner assembly, the manifold here, put my flame sensor back in, and yeah, the burners wasn't too bad. I just took a brush and cleaned this surface dust off. Also cleaned off this flame sensor. We already got our new igniter in. Also what I did was I put some thermostat wire inside the inducer port here, because I know sometimes with 80%ers, the inducer ports could clog up, and now you'll eventually have intermittent pressure switch fault. So that's part of what I do on the maintenance. I just want to make sure we can avoid recalls. That includes filter, sensor, pressure switch, you name it. It only takes a handful of times of you guys getting bit before you know exactly what to check to avoid having recalls. And you don't want this customer to call you right when you're slam busy in the middle of doing no heat calls. So, all right, guys, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fasten this, put everything back together, and we'll fire it up. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Peace. All right, guys, I got my igniter in, got everything cleaned, got my gas turned on, and we're ready to fire this up. And this is just me. Anytime I fix a heater, I always like to turn it off and on at least 2 or 3 times. Not at the switch, but I like doing this up at the thermostat just to make sure that I can see this unit cycle off and cycle on. So, and there we go. And I'm glad I cleaned that flame sensor, so I know that's one less thing we got to worry about moving forward. And this customer never had heat maintenance done with us before, but once again, this customer don't have AC. This is a heat-only gas furnace, so I'm glad we got everything looked at. Most importantly, we got it fixed and we got it cleaned, so moving forward, we can avoid this from happening again. And also, I just strapped my rollout wires up on the gas line. I didn't want my rollout wires touching the casing of the burner box here. Let me show you. That's where my old wires were. As you can see, the wires got so hot that it almost burnt through the wires. So just the smaller things. Like I said, it wasn't out of my way to do this. I just wanted to avoid anything stupid from happening again, like I said, with this unit. So the igniter was shot, but like I said, most importantly, if you give yourself time, you just want to, like I said, cross your T's and dot your I's and make sure that you just avoid any recalls and you CYA. But yeah, guys, there you have it. I'm getting ready to put the door back on. There you have it. This technically wasn't no heat. The utility company came out and told the customer that the furnace was leaking gas. So they shut off the gas line and shut off the switch. I came out here. I heard my gas valve turning on, and I didn't see my igniter glow. First, most importantly, I checked for power at the igniter. Once I knew that my igniter was getting power, I knew that it was a-okay to just replace the igniter. And after I replaced the igniter, I also did the maintenance, cleaned the sensor, and cleaned the inducer port, and yeah, she's ready to roll. So, all right, guys, I'm getting ready to pack this up and get up out of here. I got another call to get to, and I'll be sure to do more no heat calls hopefully within the next month or so. Right now it's actually August 30th. What day is it? Let me see. Yeah, it's only August 30th. We really don't start doing heat maintenances until like maybe towards the maybe mid-October. So all of next month is usually when we do our downtime and train. And like I said, we try to retool and we get everybody ready for the winter. But I know for sure we're going to start doing heat maintenances probably sometime October. So, but I think between now and October, we're going to get a lot of miscellaneous boiler and furnace requests. And like I said, something like this, my truck isn't even stocked for heating parts, so I got lucky by having that igniter in the truck. But yeah, guys, this is a simple service call. I'm getting ready to get up out of here. Peace out. I'll see you guys on the next one.